a lovely mix of newlyweds, just getting started, 10 years, 13 years, all the way up to 50 years. So that is wonderful. We have a wonderful mix of vast array of knowledge in here. I've already had comments on I am married, but I have totally turned it all this little. Do we miss the table? Oh, sorry. Oh, we need to miss the table. Okay.
Good morning, sisters. I'm Sister Vera Hall. I met Brother Hall. I was in high school. This is my high school sweetheart. We've been together for 38 years. And I love him today the same way I did the first day I met him.
Did we miss anyone?
Hi, I just snuck in. My name is Sister Bevan, and I've been married 25 years.
And I've been married 28 years, and it will be 29 years, December 17th. And I also have a grandbaby due, a little girl due in December. So that's going to be a really good month for us. Number 8 for you. Okay, we just getting started. A girl. Okay. All right. Well, I've already had comment on that picture. Who knows who those two people are in that picture? Richard Burton.
You're going to tell us. Richard Burton.
Who said Virginia Woolf?
Yeah, who's afraid of Virginia
And that is
Woolf?
her husband, Richard Burton. And then I think she's been married several times. And they've been divorced and remarried. So, yeah, there's some history there. But this is Virginia Woolf. That movie aired in 1966. And it's a movie about a couple that's been married a long time. They're in their middle-age years. They've been married, like some of us have been married beyond 20 years, where sometimes bitterness sets in because you've experienced so many disappointments. And so that's where they are here. She's berating him in this picture.
When I saw it years and years ago, I didn't understand it.
And I'm going to show you a little clip from YouTube of this couple having one of their little incidences. And they are doing it with another couple in the room with them. Let me see if my technology will work with me. Where's that mic?
I had to do that thing.
That horrible mic. And I want you all to pay attention to what she's saying to him. And also pay attention to how he's looking.
Really called Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, not just Virginia Woolf.
Can you hear it? Can I have some sound?
I actually fell for him. It. Mama's a romantic, you know.
Can you hear it?
Even the match seemed practical, too. For a while, Daddy really thought that George had the stuff to take over when he was ready to retire. We both thought that naturally...
Stop it, Martha.
You would
I wouldn't go on with this if I were you.
No, you wouldn't, would you? Well, you're not.
You've already sprung a leak about you know what.
What? What?
About the sprout, the little bugger, our son. If you started in this other business, Martha, I warn you.
I stand warned.
Do we really have to go through all this?
So anyway, I married the SOB. I had it all planned out. First he'd take over the history department. Then when Daddy retired, he'd take over the whole college, you know? That was the way it was supposed to be. That was the way it was supposed to be. All very simple. And Daddy thought it was a good idea, too, for a while. Until he started watching for a couple of years. until he watched for a couple of years and started thinking that maybe it wasn't such a good idea after all, that maybe Georgie boy didn't have the stuff, that maybe he didn't have it in him. Like hell I will. You see, George didn't have much push. He wasn't particularly aggressive. In fact, he was sort of a flop. A great, big, fat flop.
Stop it, Mother.
I hope that was an empty bottle, George. You can't afford to waste good liquor. Not on your salary, not on an associate professor's salary.
Okay. I may have a light sleep. Comment. What is going on here with this couple? There's obviously some bitterness here, some anger here. What else is going on? No love. What else? No respect. What else?
Resentment.
Bitterness. Resentment. Unmet expectations.
Yeah, but those were her plans.
Okay. What is she saying to him?
I have no respect for you.
What name did she say to him? What name? What did she call him? She said he was a flop. What else? An SOB. What else? She humiliated his career and his status. He should have been, in her mind, the president of the college by now, but he was just a mediocre associate professor. And did you hear any name calling? Also, he had tried to write a novel, and at one scene in the movie, she laughed at his attempt to make a novel to improve himself. So she's constantly comparing him to her father, this great president of the college. And she's not just doing it with just the two of them. That's a young couple, and he's a professor at the college as well. He's been invited over for an after party, snack or dinner they were drinking. But so they were doing it publicly. She was doing it publicly. Now, obviously, this is a woman who is not submitting to her husband or surrendering to her husband. She is allowing her raw emotion to just take over and just belittle, demean, and humiliate him. That is what she's doing. And we don't want to look like this. And this is what it looked like when we get so angry with our husbands and we just want to give them a piece of our mind. Sometimes it's just a big old chunk, and you're just there in his face and you're following him all over the house and telling him what's this and what's that and what's wrong with him. And this is what it looks like, and this is how he's going to react to it. He broke a bottle, and at one scene, he actually choked her for her mouth. But they were both verbally abusive. But we're going to move on. We're going to talk about The Surrendered Wife. And this is the book. I would highly recommend this book. This woman used to be a feminist. Her name is Laura Doyle. It's on the handout that I gave you. But she was an avowed feminist who just, she watched Mary Tyler Moore, she watched Batgirl, you do your own thing, you're independent, you don't need no man. And she found out that with all of that going on, that she didn't have the intimacy in her marriage that she wanted, and so she had to make some changes. When she married, she didn't even use her husband's last name. She kept her maiden name because that was showing her independence. But she discovered that she wanted more from her marriage, and so she wrote a book about her experiences and learning how to be a surrendered wife and getting in her marriage what she really wanted. She wanted a husband who loved her, cared for her, and was intimate with her. And there are some things that we have to do as wives if we want our husbands to interact with us in loving ways. And we're going to talk about that today. But before, we're going to have a little icebreaker because you all are a little tense. I mean, the singing that Sister Gaston has done is worn totally off. So what we're going to do right now is a little exercise in receiving compliments. So what I want you to do is to take your left hand to the person to your left and touch the person to your left right now. Just touch the person to your left. Just one person. Okay, touch the person to your left. Now, the person that you are touching, I need you to think about a compliment to give to that person, a genuine compliment. Think about it for a second, what you're going to say to this person. And then the person who's receiving the compliment, the only thing that you can say is, thank you, and you smile. Nothing else. You don't say anything else at all. You just say, thank you, when the person gives you a compliment. And we're going to go through, starting with this table here, and go all the way around. And someone needs to touch you because you're going to need to do that. Yeah, okay. So we're going to see how this works. So no, just give them a compliment.
I think that you're a beautiful person. You have a great spirit, and since I've met you this weekend, I have just learned to love you. You have great eyes, and you have a beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, and then your turn. Your turn. No, she has to do it to you.
Sister Rupert, you are so special. I love your spirit. I love your generosity, your spirit, and I love your personality. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, now your turn.
Sister Rudolph,
That's me. Okay.
Sister Rudolph, what I love about you, you are a peacemaker. And I appreciate that. And I love you for that. And you know what I love you so much for? Putting up with me.
No, all I'm saying is thank you.
thank you.
Sister Harris, you are an encourager. You always support me, and you always say kind things to me, and I appreciate that.
Mr. Austin, you are a very listener. Sister Austin, you are a good listener. When I talk to you, you always smile. You also encourage me too.
Just say thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, I've fellowshiped with you over the years, but this morning you and I had a talk on a personal level, and I appreciate that. I'm going to love you even more because of that intimate conversation we had this morning. And hopefully in the future we will always be able to talk and to trust one another and what we say to one another. And I appreciate you and I love you.
Sister Glenn, you and I fellowship now and then. And I want to say you are a very loving person. You're kind. You are a devoted sister to the Lord. And I love you for that. And thank you so much for your encouragement and being who you are and accepting. Thank you.
Ladies, don't feel like you have to give a whole speech. Just a compliment. Just a compliment.
Sister Whitfield, you and I have talked over the years, and I just enjoyed talking with you because you share a lot of common things, and we've been able to share some things that have encouraged each other. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sister Brown, I appreciate your commitment and your dedication to helping those that are younger. You've always been a great support to me and my family. Thank you.
Did you get a compliment from her?
I got one for her.
Okay. Yeah, it starts here. The person to your left, where you can get a compliment. No, you have to give it to her. Yeah, give her a compliment.
I'm sorry, Sister, I have seen you around the building, but I don't personally know you. I do remember you giving a class one Tuesday night, and I appreciate you a lot, and I always see you there facing to me. Thank you.
Person to your left.
Sister Melvin, I appreciate your sisterhood and I love you.
Sister McKinley, you is kind, you is smart, and you is important.
skin. You have a beautiful spirit, and I know that you're a good mother and wife.
Tell me, we've known each other for a long time, and you're a real nice person, and I love you very much.
Thank you.
Sister Lindsay, I enjoyed fellowship with you every time I see you and you embrace me, and I thank you. And I love you.
Thank you. Sister Johnson, I always enjoyed how you express yourself with such sincerity. Over the years, I've always watched that, and it always touches me.
Thank you. Sister Joan, I just met you, but just being here with you, I can see you're such a kind person, beautiful smile, and I just love you. Sister Angela.
Thank you.
I can tell that you're a very warm person inside and very beautiful. And thank you for allowing me to fellowship with you, be with you in Christ.
Amen.
Sister Renee Smith.
I've always thought she had very beautiful hair and beautiful eyes. You all are doing a great job.
I think it needs to start at that,
Excellent.
because I don't have anybody on the left.
Sister Ramona, I met you at the retreat, and this is my first time really getting close to you, and I hope that we will continue that in the future, and I love your colors. You're very wonderful.
Thank you.
Alexis, I love you. I'm so happy to have you as a sister in Christ, and I think you're a wonderful teacher for the children. Just glad to have you as my sister in Christ.
Thank you. Sister Cromwell, I think you have a wonderful spirit. Very wonderful spirit. A loving person. And I'm so glad to have you as my sister.
Thank you.
Sister Stewart, I love your smile. I love your husband. And I love the love that you guys share. It's very encouraging. Thank you.
Mike was wrong stand.
Someone. Okay. Hello, sister.
Oh, okay, I need to talk on this thing. Sister, I think we met about a year ago or so, around about the time you got married. And the first thing I always notice about you is your nice brown cheeks and how it just blends in with your smile. And it's so good to have, to learn of and be acquainted with another sister.
Thank you.
Sister Vera Hall, can I know your first name? Sister Hall, I've always admired the way you dress. And I love your style.
Sister Murphy. I love you so much. I've been watching you for years, and I just, admire the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, your family, the way you show your love to the children. I really enjoy that spirit that you have.
Sister Roundtree, I look back and I'm just so proud to see young sisters like you taking over, because as we get older, we need to see that we're going to have these strong young sisters taking over, working, doing these things, and it's just wonderful. It makes me feel good.
Sister Jones, I love you.